Seeing the people you've killed is a really good way to ruin a good night's sleep. I just returned from Afghanistan not too long ago. 8 weeks to be exact. Yes, 3. You know what question I'm answering. 2 men and a kid. In all honesty, it should have been 4. When we were cleaning a room, I saw a pile of rags on the ground. I kicked it out of the way with a meaty thuds. An object rolled across the floor and began crying. The mother ran over and picked up her baby. The look in her eyes. I've seen the look of men who genuinely wanted to kill me. But hers were the ones that didn't want to die. They wanted me to suffer. Contact left. 2 males. I heard yelling in 2 different languages. All I heard in English was, "Drop the knife!" All I heard in whatever language they speak were threats. The knife was in his hand. Inhale. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. Exhale. Inhale. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. Exhale. We detain the mother. I walk over to examine the bodies. The man with the knife only had 1 in the chest. Where was the other round? I look behind him. I see a kid, no more than 12, dead, hole in his throat. I got in the jugular. There was more blood than the kid. In the kid's hand was a sandy .38 caliber revolver. I still hadn't inhaled. Ever since that mission, I have been under a lot of stressful investigations. People question me if I saw that kid. Jesus, if I had aimed at that kid. Long story short, I'm clear. That's all that matters, right? I get to go home and enjoy my fat American restaurants. I get to see my family, my pregnant wife. I get to look in her eyes. I wish there was a way I could see in her eyes without seeing mine. I don't want her to see what I did. After 8 weeks of no eye contact, there seems to be a strain in our relationship. I glued my ass to the computer chair and let the room bathe in a blue computer light. My eyes hurt. I spent most of my time on Reddit, YouTube, Pornhub. I deleted my Facebook. Solitude and anonymity is the only thing I seek now. After 89 hours of no sleep, my wife convinced me to go see a doctor. A new drug. No REM, no problem. I didn't know if that was the motto of the drug, but the doctor assured me it's a drug. Trust the name was the motto. I started taking no REM. And this is where things started getting crazy. I popped 2 pills before dinner, and I'm golden. I sleep like it was an Olympic event. I constantly have the same dream. Occasionally wake up in places I didn't fall asleep. It became a party joke. Sometimes I'll wake up and my husband was asleep in the bathtub. And sometimes he'll just be lounging around the garden next to the tool shed. Everyone laughs. If I told him about the dream that preluded it, no one would laugh. No one laughs at the slaughter of a 12-year-old boy. The only problem with this no REM is I can't wake up. I have to watch the dream. When it became too much, I wake up outside my bed. Eventually, 2 pills stopped working. I had to upgrade to 3, then 4. Then I started having daydreams. I don't mean I stare off into space or anything like that. I mean, I was seeing shit. Sometimes I could hear the baby I kicked into the distance. Sometimes I would see the eyes of the mother when it got real dark. The one place I could never look, though, was in the mirror. I would see a much happier version of myself, grinning ear to ear. At first, I thought it was really me. I thought I was actually happy. But then me, pulled out a box cutter and slashed at my arms. When I looked down, there would be nothing. Other times, I would brand myself. Sometimes, I would cut a little bit of skin and flush it down the toilet. My other self always told me to wear long sleeves, that he didn't want anyone to see his scars. I listened to him. For weeks, I tried to stay out of the mirror's gaze, until I saw my wife crying. She was looking in the mirror, and she said he keeps cutting himself. I asked her who, but she didn't hear me. I screamed it. Still, she just kept staring at the mirror. I looked in with her. Maybe she saw what I saw. It was the same doppelganger. But this time, he was not smiling. He had a cartoonish frown on his face. One you would have to really try to make. Before I knew it, he was cutting his throat open with the same box cutter. As soon as I saw the blood pour out, I woke him in the garden next to his shed again. The medication was getting too out of hand. I got in my car and floored it to the hospital. Halfway there, I noticed I was in the same clothes I wore yesterday. Which was strange, because I always woke up in pajamas. I rushed to the hospital, and after being extremely rude to people, I convinced the doctor to see me right away. I tell him everything, and the next words he spoke made my heart so audible in my head. I could have swore it was behind my ears. John, you're in a control group. No REM should have had no effect on you because it's sugar. My mouth was dry. I couldn't drizzle out a word. I looked down at my arms and instantly felt pain shooting up and down. I rolled up my sleeves and saw the brands, the cuts, the pieces of skin I flushed away. I hear the doctor say something along the lines of, "Oh, sweet Christ." I scrambled for the phone and scrolled down to my wife's name. I tried calling it. No answer. Yes. In the shed. That's the answer to the question I know you want to ask.